Hi there, it's David Dark from redvan.co.uk, and this is the very first screen capture screencast, I suppose you call it. Hopefully we're doing a good series of these, from tutorials on how to use different bits of editing software or other bits of software, to just introductory videos, very simple, basic outlines of what software on the Mac, software on the PC can do. We're not restricting ourselves just to Apple. But at the minute, we are. Okay, I described this one in a previous podcast, Tools of the Trade actually. It's called Coda. I said I'd actually do a screencast of this just to show the simple functionality which Coda gives to the user. Now, the difference between Coda and Dreamweaver is that this is meant to be more for professional sort of demographic, whereas Dreamweaver has a lot of help. It automates a lot of stuff for you. This has sort of automation and sort of helpful parts to it. It gives hints, and the CSS editor is very simple, but that's mainly built for speed. But the actual true nature of it is this very simple text editor. Now, if I go into sites, first of all, it displays websites you're working on in a minute. For example, Red Rant and one of my other websites. Now, as you can see, it's a tabbed window, so you obviously switch between files. You can also split the window and just drop whatever files you want into there. You can also make the divide horizontal or vertical, whatever you want. So the editing window, the major features, obviously it colours the text. It gives you full options on the colouring of text when it comes to different types of code, different languages. I mean, all those languages are supported in the colouring scheme, which is very useful and helps a lot when you're trying to work out different bits. I mean, even just when you're echoing stuff in PHP, just the difference in colour just makes it so much more simple just to work out what's going on. So there's this is the major window. Basically you have your file tree here, drop and drag files. It also gives you options here of, even bring up their location in the Finder window or whatever. It also got an FTP client built into this thing, so you can actually access your remote server and synchronize them very easily. I mean, it's a full FTP program. Obviously updates, you can have set so it updates when you save, you can do it manually or whatever. There's a full preview engine. It runs on Safari. I think it's the previous Safari, but I think they've updated it now to the latest version of Safari. The CSS editor, if I just open up a style sheet, this is a style sheet for Red Rant. As you can see, rather than having a huge amount of code, you can actually access this very simply through here, and it gives you each property of every single thing, and even stuff that you wouldn't even think about. For example, when it comes to dimensions, layout, borders are obviously very simple, but the idea of having just top borders on tables, or it gives you all that functionality very quickly. And necessarily, this isn't just for help. This is just so you can work faster. CSS is something that you have to go back and alter and constantly change and adapt as you're making and creating your page. It's never static, unlike theoretically the code of your page, which as soon as you write down is meant to be sort of correct. This is constantly changing, and you're going to constantly be having to adapt tables. So the easiest way is to do it through this rather than having just pure code. That was the idea behind it anyway. The terminal window obviously gives you shell access to either a remote server or your local host. Just if you are into doing command line sort of operations on a server, I mean, it's perfect because it's built in. You have access, and you can obviously have reference to other files you're working on. You can upload whatever. Now, also, and this is one of the major features of Coda for me, is that it gives you access to these books. Now, these aren't actually downloaded. These are all online books accessed through Coda itself. When you enter a book, it's accessing an online database, which is all cross-referenced, and this is constantly being updated and added to, or as PHP language itself changes, so will this book and reference to. It gives most functionality from SQL to all PHP functionality pretty much. There's not much that's not covered. Now these books range from not just PHP but CSS, HTML, and even JavaScript. Now they come in very useful, seeing as they are the three advanced languages and a basic language that I use on a day-to-day basis. So that's Coda really. It's very, very basic compared to Dreamweaver, which is the newer version is a lot more streamlined, but Dreamweaver itself is a lot bulkier, and you can't just have a simple window. And the fact of the matter is that this program is so light that you can have 8 or 9 versions of it running with different things. You don't have to use a tab browser, and it just runs so smoothly, and it's just so efficient to use. And that's Coda. Hopefully expecting some more video introductions soon.